Hello everyone, my name is Omar. Today I'm going to present a theoretical analysis report I developed for the course Foreign Language Acquisition and Learning. In this presentation, I will explain the problem identified in an observable speaking class, the theories that help me that analyze the problem. Finally, I will propose innovative activity using digital education tool. Let's do it. It's basically the description of the problem observed is the main problem I observed before during the virtual speaking session was learning anxiety and lack of confidence when speaking English. Mostly a student or most students hesitated to participate, prefer writing always in the chat instead of speaking and keep their camera off, which create a distant and discouraged atmosphere. As well, there were also technical interference such as background noise and connectivity problems that increased the frustration and reduced engagement. Um, Additionally to this, the teacher uses Spanish most of the time and had limited English fluency, which reduces student exposure to authentic hip hop. All these factors contributed to a high level of sadness, insecurity, and reduce the willingness to speak. And the second one is the I use the case theory to analyze the problem is to understand the situation. I analyze the session through three major theory. The number one is the about the corrosion effect, the filter hypothesis. Um, I remember that it said it meant like according to corrosion emotional factors such as anxiety, motivation, and confidence directly affect language acquisition. In this class, for example, the high anxiety created by technical issues like of iteration and limited English input raises the affective filter blocking the student for the processing the language effectively. And the second one, this Bioski sociocultural theory, Bioski states that, and then learning occurs through social interaction, the scaffolding with the zone of proximal development. However, because the students kept the camera off and the provided interactive opportunity for the collaborative learning were lost, it's basically like that. Communicated language teaching is the CLT is emphasis, meaningful communication, fluency, and a real life language use. But the class relied heavily on Spanish, and there were very few lines focused or speaking thoughts. This is these three theories help me to understand why a student feel insecure and why the oral production was limited. Um, there was the impact of problem on learning. This problem, I think, that affects English learning because speaking is essential to develop fluency or learning as well. When Usually, when the student about speaking due to fear, anxiety, or lack of confidence, automatic they miss opportunities to practice, interact, and improve. Without meaningful communication and without love, stress, environment, it becomes difficult for learning to build their English voice. Is for that. And reflection on personal learning, basically, I would say from this experience, I learned that observing the class through theoretical lens helps us understand not only what happened, but why it happened. Classroom theory was especially, I like that because it's helpful because it clearly explains the connection between emotional and learning. As a future English teacher, I realize the importance of creating a safe learning environment is scaffolding where apps, paid of work to help the student feel confidence. If I could change something in the observation, I will include more collaborative tasks, reduce Spanish use, and provide more structure and opportunities for speaking, for example, so or something like that. And then this is the phase two digital tool, how I will use it. And for this phase two, the digital education tool I select was, for example, Play on the portal or Jamboard or Flip. I love this part. In my proposal, this tool becomes session to encourage student participation through interactive activities, and lower anxiety by allowing preparation time before speaking, for example, provide a visual and collaborative space where the student build a knowledge together. And right now, I'm gonna give the answer to the required question. For example, I remember this question was really important. It was like so difficult to give the answer, and then I remember that it was, what innovate English learning activity will you propose to address the problem? I'm thinking that I will propose an activity called confidence circles. It's basically low anxiety speaking routines. Is where the student works in small groups and complete short speaking mission that gradually increase in difficulty. And then the goal in there is to create a safe space where they can practice English without the pressure of speaking in front of the whole class. Is for that. For example, of mission, introduce yourself with one personal detail, describe a photo for 30 seconds, for example, or share an opinion about a simple topic. Or finally, record a short message responding to a prompt. This is activity. It will be progressive structure, reduce anxiety, and allows learning to slowly build the confidence. The second one question was like, what digital tool or resources will you use for this activity? I will use Look Play or Flipgrid is called it that. That I don't know, I don't remember, but I say Flip. It's because they allow the student to record short videos privately or in small groups. We record if they feel really nervous. Watch classmate videos and supportive environment, and receive the feedback through the text or audio. This tool reduces the fear on speaking live and give learning time to think, prepare, and express the children calmly. Mm, yes, it's basically that. And the number three question was, how will you evaluate the impact of this activity on language learning? I will I will evaluate the activity using number one, for example, pre and post confidence surveys. Students should assess how comfortable they feel speaking English before and after the activity. And the number two will be speaking performance rubrics. Is rubrics focus on fluency, clarity, risk taking, and willingness to participate. For example, and then number three is participant tracking. Is how many students voluntarily upload or complete speaking tasks over time, for example. And the number four is qualitative and reflection. Students write a short reflection explaining how the activity help them reduce anxiety and improve their speaking. And together, this element provides evidence of emotional progress, linguistic or progress, and engagement. This is all for now. I hope that this video was really useful. See you the next time.